Hey everybody, my name's Taikoru and welcome back to the channel. And if you've been following the Destiny 2 news this week, you know this has been one of the darkest weeks in the history of the franchise. Now, I've got a new article released this morning from Paul Tassi titled Further Clarity on Destiny 2 Frontiers, Destiny 3, and the State of Bungie. So let's just jump straight in. In the wake of Bungie's mass layoffs and transfer of roles to Sony, the future of Destiny 2 and other projects remains unclear. The official line from Bungie is just that nothing about announced plans have changed, which means 2 Destiny episodes, Frontiers after that, and Marathon in 2025. Further reporting has dug into precisely what's happening next, and I'll try to add to that with additional content, context, and clarification from conversations with sources familiar with the situation. It is certainly possible things don't come to pass as plans change, of course. This spans a number of topics, and I may alter bits and pieces as further information continues to come in. This is interesting, guys. So all we have left on the slate for the future is Frontiers, which I don't know if we know much about. We'll get some more information later on in this article, but it's not necessarily a huge expansion, which we were, semi-expecting. And of course, Marathon, the newest game from Bungie, which we don't know much about, but is slated to come out in 2025. Let's keep going. Future Destiny plans. The larger content packs, though not true expansions, will contain similar and familiar elements like new destinations, raids, and campaigns, just much smaller scale on the whole. Shadow Keep-ish size, maybe, though not the same format. Interesting. A goal is developing more replayable, unique activities like the coil. If we're leaving the system, Paul Tassi's speculation is this is where we'd see the new worlds to visit. I'm not sure if this is free. Interesting. So coil-like activities for the future. Coil was fun, and if the rewards are good and the activity has enough, add density and difficulty, that's not too bad. That will be the main release of a given year. I believe starting with the Frontiers launch, okay, and then 6 months later, there will be another pack of smaller content that's more something along the lines of what we got with Into the Light. This should be free. Interesting. So how do you guys feel about a 6-month wait in between big content drops? Let me know down below, because it's a little lengthy, I'm going to be honest. Between these, there may be something akin to current episodes, though the scale and schedule is not clear. That's good to know because I'll be honest, 6 months for me personally is a bit of a lengthy wait in between content drops, so maybe something in between event-wise would hold us over. Generally speaking, the idea is less sprawling one-off campaigns and a greater focus on replayable activities, the hobby aspects. With the new Frontiers format, there aren't widespread updates that will hit every facet of the game at once like most expansions do. It will be less than players are used to. Not to say there will not be things worth playing. Let's keep going. Cancelled projects, Destiny 3. Some elements of Payback seem to be shaping up well. The third-person adventure spin-off shooter Luke and Mark were doing. I have not heard anyone say it was a flat-out bad idea or terrible in practice, even if the concept sounded like a significant departure for the series. Yes, the game in development that we all thought was Destiny 3, that was Payback, was actually a third-person spin-off game similar to Genshin and Warframe that I heard from other articles that let you play as the heroes we know in Destiny 2 and explore new worlds, which seems relatively interesting, but a explore-style game, and I was going to assume that they had abilities instead of true kits and true subclasses similar to, Genshin and Warframe style abilities. So that was going to be interesting, but it seems like it won't be coming out here soon. I've heard multiple people say that of all projects, Gummy Bears seems the most promising. The game that is going over to Sony under the new team. It has MOBA and Smash Bros-ish fighting game elements and is supposed to be very fun. Interesting. This is what Gummy Bears is. Mobile Smash Bros-ish fighting game. Okay. Destiny 3 was and is considered to be too big of a risk in the current market. The idea was to instead split up Destiny as an IP into more manageable components. The PvE portion we have now continuing in D2, Payback for an adventure genre expansion, a mobile Destiny game from NetEase, and spinning out into a 3v3 Crucible game channeling Trials. It appears none of this is happening now alongside Destiny 3 never being in production in the first place. Wow. There are no plans to just shutter Destiny, however. The long-term rebranding remains unclear, but it's D2 Frontiers content only for the indefinite future, and Marathon remains the big thing right now going into 2025. Wow, everybody, this paragraph right here was crazy. Well, okay, so they had a lot of things going. A PvE portion, which was going to continue. Payback, a separate game. Mobile Destiny from NetEase, which was going to be honestly chalked. I'm glad this didn't come out. And spinning out into a 3v3 game. That would have been insane. But I don't know how the community would feel about this. Splitting up all of your true community into different games would just spread it so thin and just separate and maybe create hostility. I don't know. But we'll never know because none of this is coming out. Wow. And think, all of these were resources, time, money that was taken away from our game Destiny 2, and it suffered because of that. And they were the ones that paid for it, the Destiny 2 developers. That's insane. One of Destiny's biggest ongoing issues is that the player base is skewing much older than everyone wants to see, which is worrisome to higher ups. You want to attract a younger crowd that is no longer happening, hence the desire for new projects like Marathon and Gummy Bears, and another reason as to why no Destiny 3. I mean, I guess we are growing up. I think a lot of us started Destiny 1 when we were very, very young, or, middle school, early high school age, and now we're basically grown up. So that is true. We did grow up as the main player base, but that doesn't mean you can't attract new players with Destiny 2. The content needs to be good, and the weapons and all of that, the stories need to be great, and they were on the right track with Final Shape, but coming off of Lightfall, it was just, it was bad. Continuing on, Bungie internally. Everyone does not trust leadership at all, but leadership does seem to understand that, and some actually believe this week and this situation went well. That's not true. This week was a shit show, and I don't know who in the higher-ups of Bungie could have thought this week went well. A terrible look for your game and honestly the community as a whole. The sheer amount of stuff that was done for the Final Shape was massive. Story was rewritten multiple times, missions redesigned multiple times. During the delay, they built a colossal amount of new content. Dread, Dual Destiny, the Variety Encounter, exotic class items, Ergo Sums, GM's Excision, wow. The main reason being that the studio was told the expansion was make or break. And now that they all feel lied to for obvious reasons, the new mantra is that Marathon is make or break for the studio. Well, if that's the case, if you're working on Marathon, how does this make you feel? If you're at Bungie at all, how does this make you feel? We got additional time to create all of this amazing content, and it hit. And they say it's make or break. They made it. And then they have to be broken anyway. Now, for the developers of Marathon, a game from a company that we all know is just not looking great right now, how do they expect to hit the nail on the head? And even if they do, what's their future looking like? The new player onboarding experience remains bad because the team who did the Cosmodrome/Shahan stuff got one crack at it, and then essentially no one ever tried anything of significance ever again. This may change with future plans. And I really think it should. One of the biggest factors in new players is the start of the game, and starting Destiny 2 kinda sucks, I'm gonna be honest. All of Red War, the original campaign, is just taken out of the game, so it doesn't make much sense. And having Shahan basically let you know that you missed an entire campaign, an entire background of lore, and hey, welcome to right now, makes no sense. You don't know what you're doing or the background, no setup, and then there's just quests galore. That's not a good way to introduce players to the game right now. Bungie is essentially tied to games as a service games or live service games forever. Nothing single player. Matter was not a live service FPS, so that was part of the reason why it was axed. Many departments have been gutted after layoffs. Much of QA or quality assurance is outsourced to people who are unfamiliar with even the basics of the game. This is kind of an interesting statement, but we kind of know some of the reasons why bugs and patches and things like that go unfixed. I know making a game is extremely difficult and finding these bugs is extremely difficult, but some things that aren't fixed or some bugs we've had are such a simple fix and so easy to find that it kind of makes you question what was going on here. Everything has been divided up into strike teams now, even individual missions and activity modifiers. They form, are dissolved, reform. Speculation is that the higher-ups saw players liked when they called things strike teams, so now there are a million strike teams. Even with updates, many tools are exhausting to use and everything takes forever. Even if Destiny 2 content is being added, there will indeed be more vaulting for technical reasons alone. Whether the no more expansion content vaulting rule applies is unclear. We have heard that in the past, no more vaulting, but with the way everything's going, you never know. The state of Destiny is not looking too good, and we're going to need some great fixes and some reassurance from Bungie and the CEO himself on what's going on. Like when things were bad during the pre-Final Shape layoffs, those that remain are confident in the actual work they're doing and believe they can make great things. They are hoping for community support as they continue to work, which is different than approving of leadership. I, for one, am happy to keep cheering them on, 100%. I know the development team there, the people that are left, love the game. They love making it, and seeing this be the result of all their hard work is just sad. It's very, very difficult to see. And I side with the developers 100%. I hope they all find new jobs, and I hope they get the reward they deserve for making such an amazing update. Final Shape was such a great ending off to the Light and Dark saga, and those guys did not get the reward they deserved for it. So, hey, I hope that happens for them. Check out this article and check out all of the Destiny news on Twitter, social media. Paul Tassi is a great outlet, and there's tons more. So feel free to check out my channel 100% for new Destiny news, as well as all these content creators on Twitter, Instagram, things like that, other social medias. If you like this video, please feel free to check out more of my videos and videos of the game itself, Destiny 2, not necessarily just news, but hey, we needed to cover this. The future of Destiny 2 is looking interesting. I'll be there 100% seeing everything through to the end, and I hope you are too. It's been a great game and I just loved playing it. So seeing it end this way is a little sad, but there's definitely time for it to, shape up and end amazing. If you want to see it, hey, feel free to subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends and family. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you around. Thank you.